It is estimated that the agricultural sector in Malawi accounts for as much as 35% of GDP and around 80% of export earnings. With crops such as tobacco currently leading the way, bird's eye chilies grown here are known for their intensity, often reaching the higher end of the Scoville scale, and that unique flavor and heat has the potential to position Malawi as a bigger player in the global chili trade, worth approximately $4.8 billion US. This is Inside Africa. In southern Africa, the Mulanje massive mountain range is a World Heritage Site, famed for its natural beauty and cultural significance. But beyond the landscape, Malawi's agricultural heartland has also gained a global reputation for producing a small fruit that packs a powerful punch. The bird's eye chili is grown across Africa and Asia, but it's the African variety, thicker, hotter, more pungent, that's become the backbone of one of the world's most recognizable flavors, peri peri. In Malawi, that same chili is part of daily life.
The bird's eye chili is so famous because of its taste, its pungency, it's very spicy, and it just goes well with every meal. I mean, I myself, who have grown up with chilies, I have it honestly for breakfast, lunch and dinner. And it's loved all over the world for its taste. It really adds to a meal. The Malawian bird's eye chili is known around the world to be the best one, in fact. It's very pungent in terms of the heat of it, so it's quite high on the Scoville heat scale. Normally the bird's eye chili starts from about 50,000 and can go up to 175,000 plus, and the Malawi bird's eye chili hits the higher ends most times.
For more than half a century, that heat has powered one of the country's most recognizable brands, Nali.
Nali is a family business which was started by my late father, Alfred Nalilo Coromana, back in 1974. It's the same outfit. He looks very serious.
Very serious.
So I grew up with the business always as a part of my life because it was there even before I was born. And it was lovely to come in on summer holidays and I would help out on reception and just sort of get a feel and a sense of being a real part of this business. I've loved to see it grow over the years.
It started simple, a recipe developed at home, refined in a kitchen, and built on the idea that Malawi could produce and sell its own product.
Nali was a simple little company that started in my parents' kitchen, so really from very humble beginnings. And they used to run these little experiments of the recipe and until they got it right. And then they decided, after it was well received by family and friends, to build a little factory on Nali farm, and it just took off from there.
Today, Orpah Coromana runs the business her parents built. But its foundations haven't changed. It's still rooted in the same land and the same crop.
It started when we bought this land in Luchenza and we started farming. After trying most of the crops which we are grown in Malawi, my husband got interested in the chilies because they are the ones which were fetching a lot of money on the international market that time.
At first, the chilies were grown on a single farm, but demand came quickly and the model had to expand.
My late father was the pioneer of starting to grow bird's eye chilies on a large scale in Malawi. Before him, bird's eye chilies were not something that were grown. In fact, when he first started, people were laughing at him, saying, "Are you crazy? Why on earth would you grow chilies? You're never going to make any money from this. You're wasting your time." But he, forged on ahead and did it, against all odds and against all negative feedback.
What followed was a shift from one farm to a network. Seeds distributed across the country, farmers growing independently and selling back into a central system.
We decided to give seed to farmers from the southern region up to the northern region. We gave seed. When the chilies are ready, they will phone us to say, you can come and buy the chilies.
That system is still in place today. Planting, harvesting, drying, grading, almost entirely by hand. A supply chain built on labor and consistency.
The process actually is still very much the same. We plant the plants. At harvest time, we hand pluck it. So there really is that sense of connecting with the plant from start to finish. And it's always authentic Malawian hands at every step of the way, handling those chilies all the way through to the finished product.
And over time, the system has come to rely on something deeper: trust between the people growing the crop and the people buying it.
We keep our relationships strong through communication and also through living up to our word. I think it's very key that we haven't let our farmers down in all the years that we've been working with them. If we say we're going to do something, we deliver and we do it. And I think that was a problem they were having in the past. So if we agree on a price, that will be the price. If they need some help in some way, shape or form, whether it's agricultural tools, a watering can or a hoe or whatever it is. So we're always with them, along the journey from start to finish. They know that they can rely on Nali to help them along their way because it's to our mutual benefit.
On supermarket shelves, in family kitchens, and in fields across the country, the same chili links the local community to the world.
The chili crop, as we like to call it, our red gold, is literally that. It's $1 billion industry. Even with Malawi growing the chilies and other countries within the region growing the African bird's eye chili, we're still unable to meet the demand worldwide. So there is certainly room for much, much improvement. And we are hoping that, the more people that get to know about the African bird's eye chili, that they'll get into this industry and start growing it more on a larger scale.
Which raises a bigger question: not just how much can be produced, but what that growth could mean.
It will certainly uplift Malawi as a whole because it will be the crop that will transform this country because we'll be able to export it worldwide and basically get, great gains from it, which will trickle down to everybody within the country and raise their living standards and bring them out of poverty.
But meeting that demand is not simple. To turn red pods into a product the world can buy, Malawi has to do more than grow chilies. It has to process them, bottle them, brand them, and keep the value here.
Before it was just the whole chilies exporting. Now when we started producing it, putting value to the chilies, I remember some people, when they were seeing the bottle in the shop, they didn't think it was done by their fellow Malawians.
For our production purposes annually, we need at least 40 tons to meet the current demand of the chili orders that we have, the finished product. But for export, honestly, the sky is the limit. We've been averaging about 200 tons, metric tons, but the market can actually sustain more than that. So we're very encouraged that more people are going into chili farming. So in the near future, we expect that to grow to at least 400 or 500 tons, metric tons and beyond.
In southern Malawi, the country's agricultural heartland, bird's eye chillies move through a network that stretches far beyond the factory. Out here, it starts in the hands of smallholder farmers.
I am Mr. Pedro Manja Ngere. I'm a farmer and I grow chili peppers. My relationship with Nali has been going on for years. It started in 2012. Since then, I have achieved a lot thanks to that partnership.
For farmers like Pedro, this crop is the difference between getting by and getting ahead.
I believe that when we take our harvest to the factory and receive a fair payment, we can provide for our households so our children and families don't have to worry. It supports everything at home. When the factory buys from us well, my family is happy. And when I call my children to come and work, they come willingly because they know that when we deliver to the factory, we will benefit.
Across Malawi, agriculture still underpins most livelihoods. The World Bank estimates that the industry accounts for 80% of the country's employment, with the majority of farmers working small plots like these. And increasingly, many are turning to chili. Some supply companies like Nali directly. Others are part of farmer organizations like NASFAM, linking small-scale growers into a wider market. Albert Mapedi is both a farmer and a mentor to others in his community.
My name is Albert Mapedi. I'm a village consultant, a farmer working with other farmers. We are now planting this crop for the third time. It's a tough, thorny plant, but it supports us in the fields. From it, we get what we need: food for our families and income when we sell through NASFAM.
For him, the system works because it brings something many farmers lack: certainty.
NASFAM gives us good prices, and we depend on that. When we grow this crop, within a year, when it's time to harvest, it provides what we need.
What systems like this offer is something that's often missing at this level of farming: a degree of certainty.
We encourage others to join us, and now we have around 50 people we are supporting and visiting in their fields. We work closely with them, and that's why more people are following NASFAM's farming methods, because they see the benefits.
With a price and a buyer, farmers can get a sense of what each season might return. Farmers are organized into groups. They share knowledge, access training, and sell collectively.
We have been working with these farmers for the past 10 years. Basically they grow a number of value chains of crops, and one of them is the bird's eye chili. And we support them in terms of the seed. We give them extension services, and we also offer them a market.
Because for smallholder farmers, growing the crop is only part of it. Knowing it will sell matters just as much.
When it comes to market, they rely much on NASFAM because NASFAM is a ready market for their bird's eye chili.
Out here, the work is constant: planting, tending, protecting the crop.
We have really been struggling, more especially in the era of climate change, where our farmers experiencing a lot of climatic shocks, more especially if there is no dry spell, then there's maybe some floods. So Mulanje is basically affected by these two. It's either floods or dry spell, prolonged dry spell.
When the weather changes and the rains stop, we use a water pump to irrigate the fields. If the crop isn't doing well, we buy fungicide to protect it from rotting and spray it. After planting, we weed, add manure, and keep watering. After about 3 months, the crop is ready. Then we harvest and take it to the factory, and they buy it from us.
Less stability in the weather means less certainty in the field.
In Malawi, pepper is one of the main ways we earn money. Other crops come and go, but with pepper, we know we will get something.
For many farmers here, chili still makes sense.
I would encourage young people who are not working or not yet growing pepper to try it. You can see the fields, they are doing well. We are proud of the pepper we are growing.
From one farmer to the next, the crop continues to expand. And as production grows, so does the need to process it at scale. In the foothills of Mount Mulanje in southern Malawi, the crop, often referred to as red gold, is moving from field to factory. Every day, large volumes of bird's eye chili arrive from farms across the region. They're sorted, checked and weighed before moving further down the line.
So when the crop is ready, they bring it to the factory where we purchase from there. Then after we receive it at the factory, we do the second grading because we've got our own standards which we follow, what we need exactly.
By centralizing production here, Nali brings together the crop from dozens of farmers and efficiently turns them into a finished product.
When the time for processing comes, we know the quantity of what we need from Kambuzi. If it's garlic sauce, it's garlic chili sauce, we know also what to take, the ingredients which we have to mix up. Then we mix up the ingredients. We start our process of milling, cooking, bottling, labeling, packing. We give everything to the customers, to the consumers. Yes, that's how we process. We believe in consistency. If you eat Nali today, it's the same Nali you can eat tomorrow. It's the same Nali you can eat next year. Our customers are at heart, so we don't want to disappoint them. We maintain the quality, the standards all the time.
But holding that standard means managing everything that can go wrong.
The main challenge is electricity. So the moment we have power interruption, it's a problem to us.
Being African, you always have to think out of the box. And so you have learnt, I think, over generations that when things go wrong, you still continue and you find a different way to do it. So for example, today, we've got a power cut. What do? We then revert to a manual system where the show must go on and we're still able to produce the sauce and we'll manually bottle and we'll manually label and we'll continue. And I think that's definitely an attribute of being a family business and being quite small, that we're able to do that. Where I am today is Chipiku Plus Stores, which is one of our biggest customers here in Malawi that stock our products, our Nali sauces.
Nali is most loved by many, and people come from outside Blantyre to buy Nali in Chipiku Plus.
These stores are very important for our brand. So, for example, within just this one Chipiku branch alone, our hot sauce, which is our #1 sort of bestseller, shifts around 600 bottles a month.
The customer don't find it in a store. They keep asking for this item because it's their basic. They like using it in their homes.
We are at Blantyre Market, and this is the biggest market in Blantyre. Today we're here to look for fresh produce. We're going to be looking for some chilies and some veggies that I will be incorporating in my dishes today.
For chefs like Tami Banda, the quality of the produce reflects the value of sourcing local ingredients.
The flavor here is so diverse because you're not just finding one thing, it's a large range.
And no shopping trip is complete without the bird's eye chili.
It's one of those things that is your absolute go-to, so everybody is familiar with it, we know what it tastes like, and we love it. And because it's locally produced, it also helps boost farmers. So you're able to buy something that's locally produced and enjoy it in Malawi. So it's definitely your go-to, and everyone loves it. You're gonna find it in your hot sauces, in your fresh foods, and it's just one of those things that you can enjoy. 8,000? 9. And today I've decided to make the marry me fish using Malawian fish, and I'm gonna make it slightly different from the way that it's normally made. So we're gonna put a twist on this one. The flavors that I use are a little bit more bold and exciting, but I think that's what makes it so beautiful. Bird's eye chili in Malawian cooking is a staple. It's one of those things that you absolutely must have in the kitchen, otherwise it's not a complete experience. And it's one of those things that everyone reaches for, so if you haven't cooked with it, it's one of those things that everyone's gonna be like, can I please have that?
Success for me would be where I can see that although we have grown as a company, that all those farmers continue to be elevated and transformed in a way that their lives are improved by having grown these bird's eye chilies, and that they can continue to educate their children, that they can continue to build better housing for themselves, that they can also start to dream bigger and know that things are possible and that hard work pays off.